Thanks for clicking on today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be drawing Inktober day 21. The topic is blast, and while I'm drawing, I'm going to be talking about other random stuff. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, let's rewind the time, and I'll see you in the past. I hope you'll have a blast. Alright, welcome back to another day of daily sketching, where today we're going to be working on Inktober day 21. The topic is blast, and the first thing I've thought in my head was blast off, and what I mean by that is, of course, a rocket ship. And you know when you have a rocket ship blast off, especially the one that you see in NASA, yeah, you only see like the tip or the part of a spaceship blast off structure, which is like, you know, you have see a rocket and there's like a steel structure right here. Yeah, what people fail to realize is that there's more to it on the left side. So I thought I could sort of encapsulate this in today's drawing. That would be great. So you're only gonna see the spaceship right here, which I think I'm gonna start by drawing it first. So I guess from today's video, if you get the idea of what a space shuttle like a launch pad looks like, that's more than enough. I'm not here to make a super detailed rendition of it. I'm just here to show you guys what it looks like. I have a little bit of interest in space as well, like not just architecture, but I really enjoy science fiction stuff, and I guess that sort of lead myself into the world of science. Whichever came first, I like science first and then science fiction, or I like science fiction and then science. I have no idea, but the point is I really enjoy science. It's really fun, especially physics. I mean, I had the option to choose environmental science and chemistry and biology. None of them really, you know, struck my interest. I just liked physics. Again, I'm not that big of a nerd about space. I just like space stuff. But I do wish I could gain a little bit more knowledge about space shuttles one day. So I actually have a friend who's really into space and flying or mechanical engineering stuff. If he was here, he would probably talk a lot about the special things about these spacecrafts. I wish he was here, but then again, if he was here, I'd have to create a super crazy translation for everything he says in English because he only speaks Japanese. But one day, maybe he'll make a cameo. Alright, I hope you noticed that there is like a clamp here. Yeah, it's pretty simple, you know, if you think about it. After all, what you can do in small scale, that's what they're doing in bigger scale. So they just really created a big clamp to clamp down the spacecraft here. Alright, you know what? That's good enough. I'll just slide in the American flag here. And the NASA logo. Now we can work on the actual structure. So the architecture part of this is basically the functionality is getting people into the spacecraft, and that's why you'd have something like this coming out from the spaceship. This is where all the astronauts come in and go into the spacecraft and get themselves ready for their space journey. This part is probably the most dramatic part in any kind of media, TV, movies. This is where people get to showcase who's getting into the airplane or in the aircraft, and basically showing the world that we are getting a step closer to this space. Now, when I was younger, I actually had a dream of becoming an astronaut, but then my eyesight was pretty bad. And so they were like, you can't become an astronaut, your eyesight is terrible. And I'm like, fair enough, then I'll become the scientist behind the spacecraft, or whatever I said. And they tell me, well, you gotta be really smart and you gotta study a lot. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. I tried. Then again, I actually sort of escaped to art in a way. Because all the studying and everything was hard, I decided that, hey, what if I do art instead? Because I like drawing and I like characters, and instead of studying physics and math, I kind of procrastinated by drawing. Yeah, because at least drawing, it feels productive, right? It's really hard to create proper detail, especially with these steel structures, simply because, well, there's a lot of details, and it's really hard to show detail in a lot of details. Unless I work digitally, of course, then I could probably zoom in. But since we are not, I gotta deal with this. But I think I could add certain features like staircases, how people get around, right here. Now in any kind of buildings or any kind of like architectural drawings, if you can add staircase here and there, it just makes it feel like you know what you're doing. Coming from someone who doesn't really know what he's doing. And it just seems like you're thinking about the people, right? This is where the people walk in, this is where yada yada yada. Again, it's a very important aspect of architectural drawings, but sometimes people just forget and they just get to the concept of the drawing or concept of the architecture that they want to build. Now, architecture isn't just always about, you know, design and visual looking and beauty. Sometimes it's about necessity. Just like this architecture right here that I'm drawing. This is also a kind of architecture, right? It's a building, but it's an architecture for holding the spacecraft and allowing the spacecraft to launch safely without damaging other facilities. So I'm hoping that you're noticing this truss structure right here. This is a very interesting truss shape. I don't think I've actually seen this kind of shape around normal buildings. Maybe there's a name for it and I actually don't know. I'll have to do my research eventually. But today I'm here to sketch, so cut me some slack. If you do know about it, well, leave a comment down below. That would help me a lot. I think this is like the elevator or something. I have no clue. Again, I've never been inside this facility, though one day I would wish I could. That would be really awesome. Maybe if my friend goes into NASA or something, he could get me in. I doubt it. I doubt that would ever happen. As in, that I would be able to go inside the building. Not that I don't believe my friends. Actually, I think there is one friend that might actually go into NASA one day. He was doing a presentation in NASA at one point. Anyways, let's draw in this side. This is the lock and load part where you can see somewhat of that curvature for the rockets to be in there. I mean, you gotta place the thing in there somehow, right? This is like the capsule. So you see the rocket here, so I want you to imagine like it goes like whoop and whoop. And that's how the rocket gets loaded. Or at least that's what I think it is. I have no clue. Again, you're here for the art, not for knowledge. But maybe you are also here for the knowledge, just a bit. I'm kind of just eyeballing what I see here. I see a lot of mechanical parts. Oh, so this hinge that I was drawing here is actually the hinge, which I think I'm gonna accentuate this. What time is it? 12 minutes? Okay. So this is the hinge, not the app, it's the hinge. And this is connected to the structure next to it. Imagine moving this huge architecture. That is an engineering nightmare, honestly. I would not be one to be responsible building this. Then again, it's not like one person designed it. I'm pretty sure thousands of people have worked on this project to make it possible. You know, looking at stuff like this makes me feel proud of humanity sometimes. Like, building something like this is no easy feat. I'm sure you can think of that. Just drawing it is already hard enough. Imagine building this entire 3D model. Probably took years and years of research and trial and error. Man, I have so much respect. Maybe that's also some part of the reason why I want to do architecture. Well, you know, it's cool, right? Building the world around you, being part of the urban designing and planning. That sounds like a dream. Alright, so it seems like I've got the overall cap shape around it, but there's actually a lot more going on around here, which I'm actually not sure what it is. I'm pretty sure it's for like the computer facilities and the sensors and everything to keep track that everything is alright, especially since this is probably like oil powered or something, because moving something like this requires quite a lot of energy, I'm sure. So they find a way to put in a tank in here, fuel it up or something. I don't know, actually. Again, I'd love to visit this center one day. Probably top secret. What's funny about the space engineering is that it came out from building weapons. It's not that they wanted to, you know, explore the space, but it was more like, who can get to space as fast as can? And by doing that, they also kind of created missile technology. I mean, the missile technology probably came first before the rockets and everything else. So it's like a way of demonstrating that, yo, look at my rockets, they can reach the moon. So imagine that. if this rocket can reach the moon, well, of course, it can reach your country. And that's the way that they've decided to show fear amongst other countries, and that way people probably don't want to do war. I don't know, I feel mixed about it, because yes, these advancements in technology, they're great, but then I don't want it to harm humanity as well. Like, who would wish for that, right? I think we all wish for peace, and that's not a controversial opinion, honestly. Why can't we just stay peaceful? Alright, so I've been sketching around here and adding in details and structures that I see in my reference photos, and I'm noticing a couple of things. Is that these structures are all made out of truss structures, and you know that triangle are the strongest shape in the world. We all know that. And then there's a triangle thing down here as well, which it's really hard to tell what it is, but you can sort of see the people here. I think first thing I want to do is actually color in the skies. I thought it would be nice, just getting in the colors in. So all this time I've been sort of coloring it quite accurately and realistically. I think I'm going to go a little bit more fun today, making it sort of a little bit impressionistic. The reason why is because I sort of wanted to contrast between the structural buildings of it, and I also want to have fun. Again, I've actually started all this YouTube channel and drawing and daily sketching so I could improve in my architectural designing skills, but sometimes you just want to have fun too, you know? Let's work on the rocket ship. And I think I really want to accentuate the orange in the back. So I'll use this material color. And to show a little bit of fun, I'm going to use a hint of blue to mix it here and there. Maybe this blue might be better. And the same goes for the white materials. I'm going to use blue for the shadows. And the rocket ship itself. That looks pretty. I love that. Okay, why don't we move on to the edge? Nice. And accentuate. These are the key features of the NASA space rocket ship. It's a little bit too gray and boring. I think I'm gonna mix it up just a bit by adding this color. Yeah, because I noticed that the structures are a little bit of like a blue tint to it. So I'm gonna use this to kind of add a little bit more color to the building. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, it does look gray, but then my eyes are catching in some colors, so I'm gonna follow that. Now, it would be great if I can show you guys a reference photo as I draw, that way you know what I'm talking about, but this is not my photograph, so I don't really want to put it in my YouTube video, so bear with me here, so you can just sort of imagine what I'm talking about. So I don't want to overdo with the blue, but I'm just gonna add hints of it on the edge. I'm just kind of feeling it. Honestly, it's probably not even accurate, but we're not here for accuracy. We are here for the feels. Doing what feels right. It's a little bit off topic, but right now in Japan, the temperature is getting lower. It's pretty cold. Not that cold, but it's pretty cold, and I think you can tell because I'm wearing long sleeves. It's just that time of season where I just feel a little bit sort of down because of the cooler season. I'm feeling that right now, but that's okay. I'm here. At least art is keeping me up. Let me go. This is really fun because I get to experiment with colors. My point is, if the season gets cold, I do believe in seasonal depression. It's a thing. I think it's real. At least I feel it. So that's why it's important for you guys to keep yourself, you know, healthy and good to go. You know, don't push yourself too hard. It's winter. Our body is trying its best to keep itself warm, so you'd actually exert more energy to some extent. Then again, when do we not, right? And this cold winter is giving me a little bit of runny nose, so it's not helping. There are shadows falling on here, so I'm gonna draw that shadow. Could have been lighter, actually. There's a shadow falling onto this side of the wing. And maybe some shadows on this wing as well. And then there's some shadows coming from here to down. There you go. Does that make it look a little bit more 3D? Yes, it does. So I'm noticing that the edge of here is a little too blended in with the background. I'm gonna color it dark with blue. I think I would also like to add a little bit more detail here and there, so I'm going to use the thicker marker to show that there are some pipe structures going around, some more brace structures here and there, some of the important key details. And of course I want to accentuate the rocket, so I'm going to do the same for the rocket. And there you go. I think I would call it done, something like this, and that's it. That's it for Inktober Day 21 Blast. As you can see, it's a rocket ship, it's about to blast off, and lock and loaded, NASA spaceship. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. There's actually a lot more that I'm missing here in the detail, but I want to keep clarity. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out my other videos if you can, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye!